This is not. I couldn't find a whole article. I think this is kind of old, but it is. I was able to confirm at least that this did happen. But Bobby Sherrill, a Lockheed employee in Kuwait from North Carolina, was captured by Iraqis and spent nearly 5 months as an Iraqi hostage. He was arrested the night after his release for not paying $1,425 in child support while he was a hostage.
I mean, he was kind of a little busy.
In United States law, the Bradley Amendment requires state courts to prohibit retroactive reduction of child support obligations. Specifically, it automatically triggers a non-expiring lien whenever child support becomes past due, overrides any state's statute of limitations, disallows any judicial discretion, even from bankruptcy judges, requires that the payment amounts be maintained without regard for the physical capability. The Bradley Amendment forbids any reduction or retroactive reduction for any reason, whether a captive of war or in a coma. Inability to pay is no excuse.
Wow.
This man is in a coma. Arrest him. He is behind on child support payments.
I mean, the only problem that I have with this, because I understand why this is so ironclad and shit, it's to keep people from faking out of their obligation. Oh, I got a bum knee, so I can't work, so I can't make money. But the only problem with it, as I see, is not allowing judicial discretion, because that would solve this problem. No sane judge is going to go, this man should be liable for this money as a captive of a foreign hostile government. Sorry. This will override this one. That's all it needs. Really, this law would be fine if it allotted for judicial discretion. In the extreme cases where somebody could prove that they are incapable of paying, they shouldn't be put in jail for it.
Anytime that we try to enact this kind of zero tolerance shit, it's like sometimes you do need a little tolerance of something. Like there are instances where pretty much any behavior can be justified. Now, they're usually pretty crazy circumstances, but I think that, you know, if you're a father of a child and you owe child support, you know, whatever. But clearly, if you're being held prisoner in a foreign country as a U.S. military member,
It was a Lockheed employee, I guess.
Or Lockheed employee, I'm sorry.
A defense contractor.
But, you know, if you're being held hostage in a foreign country by a foreign government, I think that's a pretty good excuse
That's a valid reason
for not
to
paying
pay.
your fucking child
Well,
support.
like you talked about zero tolerance policies, which is basically what this law is, this Bradley Amendment. It's like you fight in school. It's like you got your ass kicked, but guess what? You're also getting suspended because there's a zero tolerance policy on fighting.
I mean, I'm even fine with them holding him responsible for eventually paying
Having
that
to pay
back,
it.
but coming to some kind of agreement that there was no way that he could have paid. Like, he should never have been arrested the day he was released from an Iraqi prison.
Or the day after, yeah.
There's just no way that this is okay. And all it really needs to moderate these extreme... Because, like, look, this doesn't happen a whole lot. People ain't captured as hostages. People don't go into comas all that often. It's a relatively rare fucking thing.
Yeah. But I think it just demonstrates the inflexibility of the current system when it comes to this stuff.
I mean, I'm fine with it being inflexible as long as that inflexibility is moderated by the discretion of a judge to hear an individual case and figure out mitigating
the ability
circumstances.
to petition the court and say, look, I was a hostage. That's why I didn't pay.
And nobody is going to back that except for maybe some very, very like hardcore rad femmes or some shit that think that, you know, a dead guy should have to be, you know, they should grind up his bones and sell them in China to get money to the children or some shit.
Like this is why they should challenge these laws at the highest levels and say this amendment is flawed. You know, this law that basically that's been passed on a federal level is flawed and should be changed to allow for judicial discretion in some cases, or at least the ability to petition.
Yeah.
And have a chance to say, this is why this happened.
I mean, I also think that it's unreasonable to say that you have to pay regardless of your physical capability. Like, if someone gets in a horrific accident and they're crippled or they're in a coma or any of that stuff, and they have no means of providing that income, like, I don't see how we could possibly say, well, you're still on the line for it.
Still got to pay it.
Even though you can't walk, you still got to figure out something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Cry me a fucking river and pay me my goddamn
I mean,
money.
I guess it wouldn't be ridiculous if we lived in a country with a social safety net where if you can't support yourself due to physical disability, you still got a decent little chunk of money to pay your bills and some discretionary spending. And to have that tapped into, I could see an argument for that. But in a country like it is right now, where most people are 1 month from total destitution, most people, if they lost their job, would lose everything that they had in a month if they don't find a new
Oh,
income.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
what most people in this country live
that's the
under
reality.
that on that anvil. Like, there's no way you can have a law like this. What do you mean, regardless of physical capability? That's like saying you have to give me a high five every day, regardless of whether you have arms or not. It's like, well, what if both my arms got lost in the war, sir? It's like, I don't care. High five me, motherfucker. It's like, what?
Or like, let's say you basically go flat broke, you're in bankruptcy. You can't say, well, look, I mean, obviously you can't reduce it, but maybe I can put on a payment plan. Nope. You got to pay or you go to jail.
I mean, you think they'd rather have somebody on a payment plan trying to make arrears and maybe not paying as
Nope.
much, but at least making some contribution than locked up in jail where they
minute
literally
you're-
can't.
The minute you're past due, it's like, I mean, obviously they don't always do it, but it's just to be fair game up. You're a day past, you can be arrested.
Like,
and
how
thrown in
does it
jail.
serve this child that was going to be supported by this ridiculously small amount of $1,425, by the way? The fact that anybody went to jail for a debt of $1,425 is fucking ludicrous on
Well,
the face
Paul,
of it.
think-
Let's just say, how is this child that needed that $1,425 to be supported going to be helped by their father being thrown in jail?
Because you have to think about
Don't
who
you
it
think their father
benefits.
would be able to make that $1,425 a lot better, not incarcerated in an institution?
But see, you're thinking about it in a rational way. The logical way is this: is that there's a lot of people that owe child support in America, and a lot of people that can be locked up, and a lot of these jails and sheriffs and all of these counties need to put people in these fucking cells. So it's just really they want to make money off of you. They don't really give a shit about the mom or the kid. That's not really what the equation is. It's like, how do we have almost an endless supply of suckers? Well, people are popping out kids all the time, and they're breaking up and getting divorced all the time. Oh, so there's child support. Hey, this asshole didn't pay. Let's go lock his ass up for a fucking week or a couple days until he can get bailed out. Give us some more fucking money.